Welcome to Lost in the Woods, a 15-day countdown to the worldwide release of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In this series, I'm dissecting one game from the Zelda franchise every day with the goal of separating the core Zelda game elements from the fluff. I'll show you how Breath of the Wild is the culmination of 30 years worth of Nintendo defining, losing, rediscovering, and finally perfecting exactly what makes a Zelda game great. Breath of the Wild, the latest installment in the Legend of Zelda franchise, is slated for a worldwide release on March 3rd, which is just a little over 2 weeks from today. I can easily say that the Zelda franchise is my favorite series of games. I, like so many of you, have shamelessly hopped onto the hype train. And I have to say that I'm not in the slightest bit disappointed with what I've seen even after spending hours watching and rewatching the unfiltered gameplay footage. The art direction, the storyline, the world to explore, everything about it looks richly fleshed out and full. In fact, I'm already confident, without having played it, that Breath of the Wild is going to be the quintessential Zelda game, the very best in the series, the one that will define the next 30 years of Zelda games. Breath of the Wild has all of the right elements, balanced to the right degree, and presented in just the right way. It's only kept the good parts of the series and tidily ignored the fluff. But with around 20 some odd games released across 30 years, what are the best parts? Who makes the decision of what's right? Is there a right? Now, despite it being my favorite series, I'm not a die-hard fanboy with blinders on. Each game, while certainly polished and fun, is deeply flawed. It's a fact I've just had to come to grips with. It wasn't until I watched the footage from Breath of the Wild, though, that I was able to finally articulate whatever it is that's so sorely lacking from even the best in the series. Because without me even knowing what it is, I could feel that Breath of the Wild had it in droves. I originally set out to make a gushy video singing praises to the moon about how Breath of the Wild is like the best ever, but despite my multiple efforts, that script just felt flat. Without you guys understanding the evolution of the series as a whole, that single video wouldn't mean much. It's not something that can be explained in just one video, or 2 videos, or even 5. As it turns out, it would take a whopping 15 videos to do that final video justice. So rather than give up on the idea like any sane person should, I decided to go a little bit crazy. I resolved that to best explain the impact of Breath of the Wild, I'd make that series, delving into every single major Zelda title one at a time, highlighting its innovations, flaws, and how it connects to the rest of the series as a whole. It's a convoluted journey of Nintendo defining, losing, rediscovering, and then finally perfecting what makes a Zelda game great. I hope that it's as interesting for you as it has been for me in trying to articulate exactly what I mean. Tomorrow marks the 15th day before Breath of the Wild comes out, and there are 15 games in the series I'm going to analyze, one at a time. So join me tomorrow as we begin our in-depth 15-day countdown. We'll leave no cave, no grotto, and no treasure chest unexamined as we start at the inception of the series, The Legend of Zelda, the humble but radically open-world game that started it all.